Shout out to Boxing News, who did a terrific interview with Oleksandr Usyk's trainer, Alex Krassyuk, and this dude went ham on Tyson Fury. He was talking about how they're not shocked. Oleksandr Usyk isn't shocked. He said it's systematic. He's saying it's a pattern. He talked about how when Oleksandr Usyk was offered the first amount, Fury found a way not to do it. Offered him a low ball amount. He took that. Still didn't have a legitimate reason to not fight Oleksandr Usyk. And he was saying you know, three times. He's like, nah, nah, nah. So they're not shocked at all. He said the footage wasn't convincing. He said people were DMing him on Instagram about the footage that Tyson Fury showed or the picture. He said he had on the underwear where he was slim, and then he was showing himself later on. He said, "Now I don't know if he's been wearing the same underwear all these years or something to that effect." But it was hilarious, man. He was in rare form, and Tyson Fury is always talking about he's a fighting man. He's a fighting man. But a lot of people are starting to see him as a con man, which you don't want, especially when you retire, which I'm sure he's close to doing. You don't want to be remembered as a con man. You want to be seen as a guy that took on all comers, that ducked nobody, and it's just not a good look. If you haven't seen the interview, go check it out. Oleksandr Usyk's promoter, Alex Krassyuk, man, he was he just sounded like, "Hey, man, we kind of knew this was coming," and it's just not a good look. There's a lot of people that are saying we knew the fight wasn't going to happen, and some people are even saying, "Why is Tyson Fury sparring with 2 weeks out? Shouldn't that be over with?" But like Kurt was saying from Counterpunch Boxing News, shout out to Kurt. He was saying we want to see some live footage. We don't want to see any pictures. We want to see live footage of Tyson Fury's cut. We want to examine it. I myself want to examine it. We want to zero in, make sure it's legit cut, no CGI, no George Lucas special effects. We want to make sure the cut is too legit to quit. But now they're talking about Oleksandr Usyk might fight Hrgovic on the 17th, but Alex Krassyuk said they're still talking. Nothing is set in concrete because Hrgovic was set to fight March 8th on the Joshua Ngannou undercard. But yeah, the team Usyk just sounds like, "Hey, man, we knew it was coming." Once he was saying, like Alex was saying, like, once, okay, things can happen, like twice, but three times, like he said, systematic. He even had to look up the word. He's like, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Um, and it's like Kurt was saying again from Counterpunch Boxing News. You don't see Anthony Joshua pull out of fights. I don't remember him ever pulling out a fight. And this dude stays in the gym. You think the guy that stays in the gym would be the one that would maybe be more injury prone because he's putting his body through more stress. So how is it that Anthony Joshua was not getting injured, but Tyson Fury is getting injured? And it's like Evander Holyfield was saying. The interviewer asked him, he was like, have you ever got cut in sparring? He said, no. And you know how long Evander Holyfield boxed? Evander said, I don't know how you could get cut because the headgear is way out here. He said, I don't see how that could happen. So for Evander Holyfield to say that with his long career, but then someone brought up in the chat on Counterpunch Boxing News that George Foreman was cut when he was getting ready to box Ali. He had on headgear, but I would have to look at that footage, and I'm pretty sure that headgear wasn't the same back then as it is now. Just like if you look at the gloves, they're not the same. A lot of the gloves aren't the same as they are now. A lot of the gloves are supposed to be more geared toward protection now. But I feel like I'm forgetting something because it was such an in-depth interview with Alex Krassyuk on Boxing News. But he didn't hold back, and it's good to hear his honesty, and it's good to see that Oleksandr Usyk is taking it well. He's like, he's a champion. He's not gonna be set back by this, and he's not. In other words, he's not gonna be depressed and all that. So he's just gonna keep moving forward, and whoever wants to fight him will fight him. Whoever doesn't, and they'll keep coming up with excuses. But Tyson Fury, man, we need to see more than some footage, more than a picture. We need to see more than comments, statements. We want to see some live footage. We want to see you go live on IG, go live with IFL TV, whoever you got to do a live with. But we want to see that cut up close and personal. This is the J. Roos Theory. If you wish to donate to the platform, my Cash App is JROOS33. Oh, $ JROOS33. And tune in to Andrew Tucker World. Hopefully we'll have an interview later today with up-and-coming contender Vlad Sarenko, who works with Coach James Bashir. He's 19 wins in, 16 knockouts, no losses, from the Ukraine, now living in the States. So look out for that. Anyway, thanks for watching. LSR forever, and be fearless. Yay.